Hey, good morning, and thank you for coming back to the channel. I'm a little, I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted this morning. The subject is how useful for civilians are these tools called less lethal, or some even refer to them as non-lethal. I'm going to specific, and I've had almost all of the types that are out there. My personal view is that for civilians, since we are uh, our goal is self-defense, and self-defense is uh, against an unavoidable imminent threat of serious bodily injury or death to us or an innocent. So in that context, um, when when we draw a firearm, if you carry a gun, you do it because you're going to stop that threat. You're going to stop the imminent threat of serious bodily injury or death. And stopping means stopping, not deterring, not deferring, not but stop. And not slow them down so you can get away. Stop the threat is stop the threat. Now, in that context, the gun is the best, or a blade if you like close in wet work, are the two. A blade does not stop the threat as immediately as you might need. Only a gun will do that. Or a machete or a katana where you just chop the head off, the zombie fighting type stuff. But I'm talking about a situation where you as a civilian are under threat either in your home, out in public, or in some public closed place like a store, mall, stadium, whatever. So you have these tools that are out there, and I've seen, and I'm really conflicted because the ones that are out there that look like real guns and they shoot these ball pellets, and there's two types of ball pellets. One is called kinetic. That means if you get hit with it, it's going to hurt, but it doesn't go inside your body. You hear the term rubber bullets. You know, it's some kind of deterrent, pain, but it does not stop the threat. It deters the threat, defers the threat, pauses the threat, right? Because if you are a civilian and they are a bad guy, they are determined in the first place because they have targeted you as prey. So they are determined. You are surprised. See what I'm saying? So the other ammo that comes in those little guns, not they're little, those guns are the pepper ball or the pepper CS ball. CS is gas, and you can mix them up inside. What those do is when they hit, they burst, and you get this burst of the pepper or the pepper and the CS. Now, I have seen a lot of different YouTube videos of these types of ordnance, these types of ammo. And I used to carry the handheld, pepper spray. I used to also own and carry a taser. A taser, pew. Yeah, I've had them all, and I've gotten rid of them all for the same reason. The pepper spray, you are too close, and if there's anyone else around or the wind is wrong, you're going to get it. The taser, the reason that, most law enforcement, they only work 50% of the time. So the policy for less lethal in law enforcement is don't use less lethal unless you have a lethal backup person. So if this doesn't work, you shoot them. You're a civilian. There's only you, unless your significant other or your buddy or whoever has got your back, or your six, right? And they're armed too, and then you have the luxury of doing that. The same is true for these pepper ball guns. If you're going to shoot the pepper, or you're going to shoot the CS plus pepper. If you're outside, good part is they go out a ways. They'll go out 10 yards, which means you are probably safe and you're not going to inhale the stuff. But what if you're in a closed space, indoors somewhere? Well, you're going to have everyone else around you enjoy that smell, right? And so you're going to have some kind of panic going on. So those kind of tools that shoot the gas are primarily for outside, right? Primarily for outside. Let's go back to the kinetic ball. If you are naked, it's probably going to hurt like hell. If it's wintertime and you have clothes on, you're going to what? It's not going to do anything to you. The exception is if you get shot in the head. Now let's go back to the use of deadly force, right? You shoot somebody in the head with one of those, you will probably kill them. Yeah. So why in the world would you use, as a civilian, less lethal? It's not your job to do crowd control. It's not your responsibility to detain someone or incapacitate someone so some of the action, like putting cuffs on them, can take place. Your responsibility is to stop the threat. Now, what is the reliability of that? Now, some of these things look like real guns. And if you point what looks like a real gun at somebody, it's going to give them pause. Sometimes they'll run away because they think it's a real gun. That begs the question, though, if they change their mind. You have, in that instance, stopped someone. My thinking is a person who favors those non-lethal / less lethal tools have a moral block against death actually being the result of the use of deadly force. Because at the end of the day, even though these tools are marketed, these pellet ball things are marketed as less lethal, in some cases non-lethal, which I think is a misnomer. If your aim is off or on and you hit someone in the noggin and they die, that is you have used deadly force. So those things do have deadly force, right? It's just the probability of death is less, therefore less lethal. But if you don't have if you have a moral block to actually killing someone, then you probably shouldn't carry anything at all. Maybe a whistle, right? Because anything else, if you're trying to defend yourself, is not going to work. I'll come back, and these things they're emotionally attractive because you can say, man, one, they're quiet. They have less noise than a suppressor on a 22. Pew, pew. So you can use them around other people using the balls, and you won't create a panic because of the noise, because there is no real noise. So that's kind of a good thing. There's no license, background check, nothing. They're not considered a firearm. Therefore, you can carry them anywhere. You can carry them in schools. You can carry them anywhere. No gun signs, whatever. You can carry them anywhere. You can carry them open and concealed if you want. And they have holsters, so you can carry them concealed. But they tend to be kind of big and bulky, like a duty-size gun. But the fact that you are unrestrained in carrying them kind of works. So if you can go into a place that doesn't search you and then say, sir, ma'am, you can't, because it's our place, we don't want you to bring that in here, then you are free to roam around the cabin, right? Now, you can't take these on board an airplane but you can put them in your check bag and you don't have to declare them as a firearm. That's kind of cool if you're going to be checking bags anyway. They are no recoil. So in terms of shooting them, they are pretty accurate, no recoil. So anyone can shoot these things. And what the question is, what happens if the threat is not deterred? You hit then they have 5 rounds, by the way, in the magazine. Most of them have only 5 rounds in the magazine. So what do? Do you load the first 2 rounds as the kinetic balls to get their attention and tell them to go away, and then the next 3 happen to be the gas? Okay. I'll come back to using the gas and the pepper. If the wind is going in the wrong direction or you are too close to them, you're going to get a taste and it's going to have the same effect on you. So it has to be standoff to use it. You can't be around other people or you're going to give them a taste, and now they're going to be cranky at you. If you're in a closed room with other people, right? So I'm conflicted. And they're expensive. They're $450. So do you go buy a gun or do you buy one of those? A taser is $450. Now, if I lived in a place, another good thing is if you're a prohibited person, you can still carry one of these. That's an advantage. It's not quite as sufficient, but it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing, and it can keep somebody off you if you need to. So there are some benefits. My point is that the benefits are not such that you should get one of those instead of a firearm. Now, go out in the webs and look for yourself. They're pepper guns, and they're not paintball. These are big. Looks like 50 caliber, something, big balls, and look for yourself. Look at some of the YouTube videos. Somebody talked me down because it's so cool. Anyway, if you like the content of this channel, subscribe, hit the bell icon if you do. And as always, thanks for watching. I don't care what you can carry, but if you can carry something, carry on.